Am I the asshole for refusing to give my coworker my only early shift day? For context, I work 4 closing shifts and 1 early day, while my coworker works 4 early days and 1 late shift. She has tried to change my early days for a while, and I have tried to accommodate her schedule multiple times, as she has to rush home to care for her daughter while her husband works night shifts, and they have no family help for childcare. I told her already that I wasn't going to change my days anymore, as I have things to do as well and have a toddler myself. Recently, she came to me and said she needed my early day. I thought she wanted to change my early day to a different one so she could get home on time, but she told me she wanted to work only early shifts, meaning she wanted my early day and for me to have closing shifts Monday through Friday. I told her no, but then she explained that her husband's job asked him to work an extra day, and if he didn't, he was going to get fired. Essentially, if I don't change my days, her husband will end up without a job, and she might have to rent her house to afford living if that happens. I have a kid myself and no family to help, so I had to resort to daycare. Am I in the wrong for saying no to accommodate her needs? Not the asshole. Her situation sucks for her, but that does not mean that you have to sacrifice anything. I would speak to my supervisor immediately and let them know you are not willing to change shifts at all with her anymore, and if she continues to harass you about it you will need them to help you and step in. I would absolutely say that I would prefer all the morning shifts I can get, but I am certainly not willing to give up the one a week that I do have. She will 100% go over your head and try and get her way. Get in front of it. She rushes home to care for her daughter, and you have to use daycare. Her household has 2 incomes, yours just 1. If we're looking at fair and equitable here, I'd be asking her to give me a day or 2 each week. Not the asshole. Keep saying no. Not the asshole. Her premise is flawed. You are in no way responsible for the status of her husband's employment. You can be sure that if you fall for her story this time, then there will be more unreasonable demands and unsubstantiated claims. Not the asshole. You are not responsible for managing your coworker's life. That's her and her husband's job. You are not responsible to ensure coverage for all the shifts at work. That is your manager's job. You've been kind and helpful this far. Don't become a doormat. Not the asshole. Also, her problem sounds fake to me. Depending on where you live, it could be illegal for her husband's job to force him to change his availability or fire him without cause. My guess is she's tired of trying to politely ask you to switch with her because it wasn't working every single time. So now she's trying to force you to give her the shifts she wants by making you feel bad for her. Not the asshole. It sucks that they have no family help, but if this extra shift for her husband is a one-off, babysitters exist. Yes, of course it sucks to have to shell out for them to cover work overlaps like this, but she has an alternative to expecting you to always accommodate her. Am I the asshole for asking my neighbors not to park behind me? I want to start off by saying, I live in a triplex. There are 3 driveways to this complex. 1 for the first unit, 1 for the second unit, and 2 for my unit, the biggest unit. All driveways have been spray painted to label which driveways are belonging to which unit. Recently, my neighbor has been having people stay over at their place for weeks at a time. I really do not care if they have people over, it's not my business and not my issue. But recently, they started to tell their friends, family to park behind my fiance's work van which is on our side of the driveway. They did not ask if it was okay, and it was not just for one day. A day came where we had to ask them to move so that my fiance could open the back doors to his van. They parked close enough to where he couldn't open them, they moved their car, and then when we went back inside they moved right back. Mind you, their side of the driveway has space for another car, but they chose to park behind ours. I imagine they tell their friend, family to park behind our van because they moved their car during the day and don't want to have to rearrange cars when they have to leave. They'd have to park one in front of the other. I tried to knock on their door to tell them they needed to move their car so my fiance could operate his van for work, even just to get tools out of the back, but they would not answer the door. They have been extremely rude to me in the past for no reason, and they are very new to the complex. I decided to write a short note and put it on the windshield of their car. The note says, "Please do not park behind this van without asking. I need to be able to get tools out and get out of this spot because of work. Thank you." For some reason, I just feel guilty and like they will get upset and go to my landlord making it an issue. Am I an asshole for making them move? Or am I overthinking things? Not the asshole honestly? I would call the towing company to have their vehicle towed if they don't answer the door. Not the asshole, they have no right to park in front of anyone else's driveway, as that blocks vehicles from leaving and entering. You did the right thing by leaving them a note. You've been polite and have not started any battles with them. If they have guests, they can have them find street parking or park behind their cars in the driveway. They aren't allowed to block any other driveway. If they go to the landlord, that will be fine, because they will be told they can't park in front of your driveway. You've done nothing wrong. If they do continue to ignore your requests, The next step would be to contact your landlord or management company and let them handle it. Not the asshole. Normally, I would say you should not get the landlord, towing, cops, non-emergency line, and work it out with your neighbors, but it's time you do. If I'm understanding correctly, the 2 parking spots for your unit are, well, for you, meaning others shouldn't be parking there. It's one thing if they answer and move it when you ask, even though you shouldn't have to, but they clearly seem to not care enough to answer you. Alternatively, if the 2 parking spots are back to back and they are only for your unit, why not just park your car in the back unit? So that no one could park behind your car. So, why not just park your cars at the end of the driveway so they can't park behind you? Not the asshole. Your driveway isn't their overflow parking lot, and it's wild they're acting like it is. The note was polite, and honestly, you're nicer than most. If they can't respect painted lines and basic courtesy, maybe they need to park somewhere with fewer rules, like Mars. Why doesn't she just back in, and leave it parked halfway down the driveway with no space for someone else to park there? Problem solved. Am I the asshole for being the only friend, spouse not to show up to help out friends move out of their house? My husband, 30 male, belongs to a friend group of like 6 guys and their SOs. They were all his high school buddies. I, 27F, get along well with all of them, although we're not friends outside of my husband. Occasionally the GFS, wives will do something together without the husbands, but it's rare. All of us have kids. Today my husband heard that couple 1 has until tomorrow to be completely moved out of their house, so he showed up to their house to help them move out. We have a 1-year-old who doesn't sit still, and a few months ago we helped couple 2 move, but I was absolutely useless and in the way because I had to watch our kid and couldn't be moving furniture or anything because of everything around to get into. Needless to say, I did not go help them move today. I'm also 18 weeks pregnant. Well, today all of our other friends showed up. All of them, which is great and I'm glad they had the help, until couple 3's wife sent me a snarky text about how everyone showed up except for me, and it says a lot. I told her I'm not very helpful when watching our kid, and she replied that they all had kids there and it wasn't an issue for anyone else, but good excuse. Everyone else's kids are years older except for one who is only a month old, so all he does is sleep. I feel like I'm being judged unfairly, and couple 1's husband just tweeted about knowing who your friends are because of who shows up for you on your time of need. I tried to defend myself further to couple 3's wife because also pregnant, so I'm not lifting stuff, but she had the excuse that couple 4's girlfriend was there and is also pregnant. Like, that's great, but she's 5 weeks along and just found out 2 minutes ago and also doesn't have a toddler to watch on top of it. Now I feel like they all hate me, and couple 3's wife never responded. I texted couple 1's wife apologizing that I couldn't be there hours ago, but she hasn't replied either. Sorry if it's confusing, I just don't want to give all of these people fake names. Edit. They were not evicted, they sold their house and the deadline to move out came and they were behind schedule. Edit again. Lots of people blaming my husband, but no one said a word to him or in front of him about me while he was helping. They also didn't ask him to show up, he did because he wanted to be helpful. The only person who I have an issue with is the one wife, and it'd be really weird for my husband to text her or something to defend me, so we're on the same page there. He's not the bad guy here. Edit 3. Some people have mentioned, and I agree, that the tweet probably wasn't meant for me. I think I just took it that way at first because I'm hormonal and I had just read wife number 3's texts. Wife number 3 is the only issue. Please tell me you have friends outside of your husband's folded hands medium dark skin tone. I feel like this is a wake-up call. They clearly don't have your best interests at heart and don't feel close to you. A true friend wouldn't even need all the reasons you've been throwing at them. I get feeling disappointed because you thought your relationship was closer than it actually is. Think work friends. But I keep my distance without being disrespectful. Not the asshole. Look, this might be an unpopular opinion, but barring some kind of emergency situation, at that age you need to be hiring professional movers and not expecting friends to show up and move your house. If people want to do it, obviously that's great. Knock your socks off. Expecting it, demanding it, shaming someone if they don't is simply unacceptable. Not the asshole. What's with the aggressive ganging up? It's a friend circle, not an effing cult. Your husband was there to help and offered time away from his family, while you are pregnant and taking care of a toddler. He should support you in telling everyone else to back off. Not the asshole. You help friends move right of college. By 30, you use your adult-ass money to hire movers. Not the asshole. If they had like 10 people other than you not making it isn't a big deal, and also like, why is it your problem that they got emergency evicted? Like, they're the ones living in some kind of insane sublet situation in their 30s with kids. If they didn't want to have insane housing emergencies, they should get normal housing. It feels very strange that they're singling you out like this. Doesn't sound like they actually do want to be your friends, so they don't get to really ask this of you when it sounds like they don't like or include you in the first place. Not the asshole, it sounds like couple 1 should have prepared better for this. They can't expect everyone to drop what they're doing and help them move out. That's not fair to you guys. They should have hired a company to help. Yes, movers are expensive, but that's what they're there for. Plus, it's not like they are really young with no income. It was uncalled for that one of the wives texted you, not her place, and for the couple number 1 guy to tweet something snarky. That's middle school behavior right there. Am I the asshole for not letting my kids use our second bathroom? I have a wife, 2 kids, and 2 bathrooms. My wife only uses the toilet upstairs and everybody else uses both of them, but the majority of the time, the first floor shitter is the primary. I clean the bathrooms including toilets and my wife does not. I'm okay with that, but I know I'm not making a mess or missing, and I don't think my wife is missing either, so it's gotta be the kids, mainly my younger son. He is almost 7 and has been using the bathroom long enough to have better aim. I want him to clean it this time so he can learn to not be gross. My wife doesn't want them cleaning the bathroom because she thinks he's too young to do that, but she also doesn't use the more common toilet to see how dirty it can get. I said I would clean both of the toilets again this time, but the kids can only use the bathroom my wife uses and can't use the other one. In my head, this will help with cleaning in the future and my wife will hopefully agree that the kids need to clean up their mess. Just a side note, we're not gross. I clean pretty regularly and my son actually loves cleaning. He's just pretty short and rushes to the bathroom sometimes and pees on the seat sometimes. It's not like they're shitting on the floor. I'm just picky about how clean things need to be. Edit. Thank you all. He will be sitting until his aim is better, cleaning up with Lysol wipes, and I'm not cleaning my wife's bathroom. Would also like to say that it's not an every time thing. I don't walk in a puddle of pee on the floor, just a toilet with some pee on it. 7 is plenty old enough to know how to aim and clean up any spills. Having to clean up after himself will certainly improve his aim. Not the asshole. But why not teach them to sit at home? There are several benefits. If you sprinkle when you tinkle be sweetie and wipe the CT rolling on the floor laughing rolling on the floor laughing rolling on the floor laughing. I raised 3 boys, 2 stepsons, and often my 2 nephews. Built a house with 2 bathrooms and designated one as adults only. There was grumbling, but oh well. Decades later my grandsons started coming to visit, in a different house. And after sitting in their pee on the toilet seat I remembered why I hated sharing a bathroom with little boys. Also the smell gets bad after they've peed on the floor near the toilet enough times, and cleaning to eliminate that is challenging. Don't care if I was the asshole, nor do I think you are. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your wife is probably aware what happens in second bathroom and that's why she only uses the one upstairs. Have you tried putting a small step stool in front of toilet for son? Not the asshole, but your wife. My siblings and I were doing age-appropriate chores since we were 4. I knew how to do the laundry by 7 and the dishwasher. Chores are life skills kids need to learn, and your wife is off base here with her son who should be able at 7 to clean up after himself, and she is doing him a great disservice by not teaching him age-appropriate chores. Especially for his potential wives. It's 2024. My sister was making family weeknight meals by 15 and I was doing all family laundry by 13. My other sister liked outdoor chores, she raked and mowed. It wasn't about chores, it was about doing what we liked chore-wise so we could relax as a family. It's the family house.